Assalamu alaikum everyone. Bonjour, hello and good evening. Welcome families, friends and so special guests. What an eventful evening we have planned for you today. All of us at OP have been counting down for this mega event that is celebrating Muslim excellence and joy. My name is Zoya and I will be one of your MCs tonight. I am a Pakistani Canadian Muslim.
Salam and good evening. I am Zayn. I'm a proud Palestinian Muslim. Before we begin our program, we want to welcome and acknowledge our Superintendent, Ms. Soni Gill, for joining us. We also have Aaron Center Middle School Principal, Mr. Poole, and Vice Principal, Ms. Verghese. Joining us with their MSA students, along with Ms. Benabet, who supported our collaboration in our MSA Art Showcase.
We hope you experienced our MSA Art Gallery. Can we show our appreciation and a round of applause for our MSA leaders and their creativity and expression of showcasing their powerful voices through the arts.
We would like to call Oscar Peterson Public Schools Principal, Ms. Sabah Khan, and Vice Principal, Ms. Annie Watson, to share a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening and welcome to this beautiful evening filled with joy and inspiration. I'm loving this audience. You're so full of life. That's awesome. It is so incredible to see such an amazing turnout and the many members of our community come together to bring this vision to life. Thank you, our cheering crowd. We so appreciate it. We're going to ask if we could just hold all of our applause till the end though and then do a really loud one, okay? Thank you. So right from the initial planning stages, I want all of you to know that we had such an overwhelming response from our parent community, staff, and students, which really speaks to the partnership and relationships that have been built. It is evident from the success of this evening that having opportunities to celebrate our identity and be proud of who we are is so greatly valued and needed. We want to take a moment to acknowledge our planning committee and ask them to stand. And I realize the lights are off, so I'm going to change that around and we'll have them stand afterwards. But I do want to acknowledge them. This evening would not have been possible without the level of commitment, enthusiasm, and love that you have exemplified. If any of you live close to OP and drove by, you would have seen cars in the parking lot. Those were our parent volunteers, staff volunteers, student volunteers, literally here last night until about, I think, some even till 11:30. And it's been like this for the last few weeks as we've been planning. There was so much excitement that we had too many things and we're wondering how we're going to make it all happen and fit, which is a great problem to have. This is going to be a night to remember. Thank you. We want to extend also a heartfelt thank you and express our gratitude to Ms. Anbar Khan, who has played a vital role in supporting our Muslim Students Association at OP. through the incredible journey that they have had this year. She continues to work with the entire school community to provide opportunities and a platform for our students to shine, develop their leadership skills, and affirm their identity with pride. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. What an amazing turnout. Give yourselves another round of applause. This is amazing. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Annie Robinson, and I have the utmost pleasure to be the Vice Principal here at Oscar Peterson Public School. I just wanted to take a few moments to acknowledge the importance of this evening. Although it's exciting and we have many fun activities planned, but behind this event is deeply rooted and framed in our affirming Muslim student identity and dismantling Islamophobia strategy. This strategy is aligned with our Black students' success strategy, where the focus and areas and the pillars are very similar. This makes sense because many of our students have intersectional identities. Many of you wonderful people came out 2 weeks ago, yes, another event 2 weeks ago, to support our BSA and our Black Excellence Evening. And what we did there and what we're doing tonight is pretty much similar. We are affirming and celebrating identities, creating and learning environments that dismantle Islamophobia and anti-Black racism, engage with the Muslim and the Black communities, and for many families it is one and the same. But most importantly, these efforts tonight support the mental health and well-being of our students and inspires success for all students. And with that, yes, let's hear that, yes. And with that, families, we invite you to enjoy this evening, make some connections, and be in community with one another. So enjoy. But before we let you go, we want you to remember many of our students and presenters have spent a lot of time putting this together. We ask that you stay seated throughout the presentations, and then we will give you some direction as to the rest of the evening. And with that, enjoy.
Our MSA teacher and organizer, to share a few words.
Assalamu alaikum, friends and family. Let's hear that again. Assalamu alaikum, friends and family. Thank you. To see the work and growth of our MSA students during an evening like tonight brings me such joy to see these students being proud to share who they are with others and be inspired to make positive change. I would also like to sincerely appreciate my thanks to every single member that came out today, some new friends, some old friends, and definitely friends for a lifetime. I would like to share that the sense of belonging that we feel here today, experiencing the many stations, meeting the many people, is amazing. The partnerships with students, families, community members is amazing. Building capacity is amazing. I would just like to share that whatever we're feeling here today, take it back to your learning spaces, take it back to your homes, because this truly is an example of excellence. Thank you very much, and I am going to announce Ms. Shazia Khan and Ms. Amna Ahmed to come speak a few words. They are our equity resource teachers from Peel District School Board. Thank you again for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. My name is Shazia Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Amna Ahmed. It's an honor to be able to share a little bit about Peel District School Board's affirming Muslim student identities and dismantling Islamophobia strategy. Many of you may know that this strategy was approved by the board in January of 2023. And we recently had a community celebration event, which you may have attended this past January. This strategy is the first of its kind in Ontario, in Canada, and maybe even beyond that. Honestly, while I was searching for something similar, I came across nothing. That is a very big deal. So we're going to take a few moments to share a little bit about what this strategy means for your children in the Peel District School Board. I think you can see on the screen what the strategy looks like. We have a couple copies at a table at the back. You're welcome to come by and have a look, as well as a QR code if you want to scan it and take some time to review it at your leisure. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to give you a little bit of context for this strategy. For those of you who identify as Muslim, you've probably experienced Islamophobia or the feeling of not fitting in at some point in your lives. This was formally documented during a ministry review of the Peel District School Board, which was actually focused on anti-Black racism. But while engaging in that review, they noted that it was important to mention that Islamophobia was also an issue in our board. And looking at a few other reports across Ontario, we found the same sentiments were echoed. Looking at our student population in Peel, of which 24% identifies as Muslim, we recognized that it was important to have a strategy for our students. This slide shows you what the one-page summary of the strategy looks like. It outlines some of the guiding principles. So those are the sort of the foundational beliefs that teachers and educators and the system needs to understand in order to put the strategy into action. And then the pillars are the 6 actionable areas of the strategy, and we'll take a few minutes to go over what each of those might look like at your child's school.
Okay, so we're going to start off with actually pillar 2 because it's probably the one that we'll see throughout the implementation of the strategy, which is affirming and celebrating Muslim identities. So this pillar is all about allowing our Muslim students to feel proud and celebrate their Muslim identity, to be able to see themselves in the curriculum, the school, and the classroom. So what that might look like is seeing Muslim characters in books that are read in classrooms, in the curriculum, being able to see how Muslims have contributed to math, sciences, literature, and so many more subjects that historically actually have been erased from the curriculum. And in those ways, we're going to be affirming, letting the students know that they belong, and allowing them to realize that they are amazing people and great people that are going to be contributing positively to the society. That encouragement is so nice. All right, and that's why we're here, right? Also, pillar 3 talks about creating learning environments to disrupt Islamophobia. Although we're here to celebrate Muslim identity, we also know that Islamophobia is a reality. The pillar is about providing educators the knowledge and skills to notice, name, and disrupt Islamophobia so that the learning environment is, that our Muslim students feel like the learning environment is safe and inclusive. It also allows for creating an inclusive environment for our Muslim students, which includes prayer spaces. Many schools around Peel now have prayer spaces, and I think Oscar Peterson also has a prayer space, and other faith accommodations, such as during Ramadan having an alternative space at lunchtime for our students. So the next slide should be, we're just going to quickly go into some reporting tools. Now, I don't want to take away from the celebration of tonight and the fact that this event is about celebrating and focusing on joy, but I do want to share the responsibility that we all have to recognize and call out instances of Islamophobia when they happen in our school sites, or if you know about them and your child is talking to you about them. So what can you do? So if we don't document these things, we are not able to then take the steps to follow up and ensure that our Muslim students are safe. So if you look at the screen, you'll see QR codes for 2 reporting tools. Please become familiar with these reporting tools. They are found on both the Peel website as well as your child's BYOD page. So there is the Speak Up tool, as well as the Human Rights Office tool. Okay, so hopefully, we hope that we not eventually get to a point in the system where we don't need to have these tools because Islamophobia will not exist anymore. But right now, we do need the data to ensure that our students are safe.
All right, Pillar 4 is about community engagement, and this evening is a beautiful example of community engagement. It's about building relationships with families and community partners. It means listening and responding to their concerns. I will say Oscar Peterson is at the forefront of implementing this strategy. They have done a lot of community engagement with tonight. And the community of Dar, and of course this evening today. Pillar 5 is about supporting the mental health and well-being of students, and this can be done in many ways, but one of the ways that we can do this is by creating spaces like MSAs in schools. While our focus has really been on having these spaces in middle schools and secondary schools, again I will say, Oscar Peterson is being a trailblazer. They have an MSA, a very active MSA here with 75 students. They meet several times a week, and they have done a lot of wonderful things, right? They have an affinity space, they work on a transformational action plan, they had an identity day, as I mentioned, the cooking class, the iftar, and this evening to celebrate excellence and joy. So again, just to wrap up, I would like to really acknowledge the significance of this evening. As someone who's been in the Peel District School Board since I was in kindergarten and a teacher for almost 25 years, I can't tell you how surreal it is to walk into a space like this and be fully affirmed, because it's not something I experienced as a child. So I hope that as a community you're able to value and recognize what's happening, because this is really, really special. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Equity teachers, for sharing this amazing strategy that we will continue to embed and practice for a better future. Our first guest speaker is Zahra Hassan, who is an empowered advocate as a Somali Muslim educator based in Toronto. Her dedication to education and social justice, Zahra is a driving force within her community, engaging actively in both activism and communal initiative. She is an influential social media presence on many platforms and embraces her authentic self. and proudly showcasing her personal style. She not only inspires others to embrace their identity, but also utilizes her platform to amplify the voices of marginalized communities, advocating for inclusivity and representation. Zahra Hassan serves a transformative power of compassionate leadership and hope for a more equitable and inclusive future. Please put your hands together for Ms. Hassan.
That was such a great intro. Thank you for making me up. I appreciate it. How are you guys feeling today? Good? Alright, don't mind me. I came straight from work. I am a teacher. I teach grade 6. But I'm honored to speak in front of all of you guys today. So we are going to get started. Picture a world where every individual is seen, valued, and heard for their true essence. A world where the richness of diversity is celebrated and every voice is empowered to resonate with authenticity and purpose. This is the world I envision. A world where representation serves as a beacon of hope, illuminating the path towards understanding and acceptance. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings everyone. My name is Zahra Hassan, and I'm honored to stand in front of all of you today as a Black, Muslim, Somali educator. Thank you. My journey in education has been shaped by the profound significance of representation. A journey marked by significance of challenging and navigating public school as a Black Muslim student, and the transformative power of embracing authenticity and inclusivity in the classroom and in the world. Growing up as a Black Muslim student in public school, I grappled with the weight of societal expectations and stereotypes. I felt compelled to conceal aspects of my identity, feeling that they would not be accepted or understood by my teachers and peers. The struggle to show my cultural and religious heritage with the mainstream narrative was a constant battle, one that left me feeling isolated and unseen. As we talk about Islamophobia, in grade 11, I found myself caught in a struggle with my identity, particularly concerning my relationship with the hijab. The halls of my high school became a battleground where I grappled with the weight of societal expectations, and sometimes I wore the hijab with pride, embracing the significance to my faith and culture. Other times, I felt the need to remove it, navigating the complexities of self-expression and belonging. One fateful day, during lunch in the busy cafeteria, a white woman who was the hall monitor at my high school approached me with words that pierced through my heart like shards of glass. "I am tired of you wearing that scarf on your head one day and taking it off," she said sharply. "Go to the office and make a decision." In that moment, the air around me seemed to grow heavy with judgments. I felt small, vulnerable, as if my struggle with the hijab was being unfairly criticized and scrutinized in front of everybody. As I made my way to the principal's office, flanked by concerned friends, I braced myself for a conversation that would amplify my sense of isolation. Sitting before the principal, a man of Egyptian descent, I thought perhaps maybe he would understand the nuances of my culture and religious identity. Yet as I explained my situation, his response fell short the support I desperately sought. His words of dismissal only served to deepen my wounds, leaving me feeling invalidated and unseen.
When I reflect on that pivotal moment in grade 11, it's a true testament to my journey of self-discovery and identity that I've navigated my whole life. The struggle with the hijab, a deeply personal and spiritual connection, was being scrutinized and judged by others that didn't understand. The encounter with the hall monitor serves as a stark reminder of external pressures, of expectations that often overshadow my journey of self-acceptance. As I sat in that principal's office, grappling with my feelings of violation and vulnerability, I couldn't help but question the systems of supports placed for students like myself. The lack of understanding and empathy from authority figures only deepened the sense of isolation and marginalization that I experienced as a Black Muslim student. However, in hindsight, I recognize the resilience and strength that emerged from the moment of adversity. It fueled my determination to carve out space where authenticity and inclusivity could thrive, a space where students feel empowered to embrace themselves and their full identity without fear of judgment. It's a journey that continues to shape my perspective as an educator today, driving me to advocate for representation and empathy in our educational institutions and communities. Ultimately, that experience serves as a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. It reinforces the importance of creating environments like this one, where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. A mission that guides the work that I do today. As I embarked on my journey as an educator, I witnessed a remarkable shift in societal attitudes towards representation and diversity. The emergence of Muslim student associations like this one and the growing sense of understanding and acceptance within educational institutions fills me with hope and optimism. It's a testament to the progress that the power of representation in fostering empathy and compassion. In conclusion, the importance of representation in education cannot be overstated. It serves as a catalyst for change and fostering empathy and understanding. As we continue our journeys towards inclusivity and representation, celebrating the richness of diversity and amplifying diverse voices is needed. Maya Angelou once eloquently said, "We all should know that diversity makes rich tapestry. We must understand that all threads of the tapestry are equal in value, no matter their color. Let us weave a tapestry of inclusivity and respect, where every individual feels valued for their unique contributions. Together, let's build a world where every individual seems seen, heard, and valued. A world where authenticity reigns supreme and human connections flourish." Thank you.
Ms. Hassan, you have been so motivational. Thank you for sharing your voice with us. Our next special guest is Rehan Azman.
fantastic. Thank you so much for having me here today. This is an absolute honor. Now, can you hear me at the back? Yes? I hear some yeses. Yeah, I got a thumbs up over there too. Good. This is an amazing event. This is those events that we really are so fortunate to have. These are the kind of events that I love. This kind of interfaith get together, these kind of parties are where it's at. So thank you so much for having me. But I am going to start today with a story. And like all good stories, they start with once upon a time. But this once upon a time is not a fairy tale. This once upon a time is a real life story. And in this real life story, once upon a time, I was a little boy who grew up in a faraway land called Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's a magical place. And in Winnipeg, Manitoba, as that little boy, I loved playing outside. Like many of my friends that are here, I used to go outside and play baseball. I used to play hide and seek and tag. Sometimes my mom would let me play Mario on Nintendo. But in Winnipeg, there was so much snow that the snow was actually taller than me. And the snow being taller than me, my brothers and I, we made some awesome snowboards. But there's one thing I have to say that I love more than anything else. And I think some people in this room might agree with me. The one thing that I loved more than anything else was jumping over muddy puddles. Loved it. And in fact, I would be at home and I would be so happy that it was raining because I could go outside and jump over those muddy puddles. Loved it. In fact, in my mind, I had a competition with my brothers. I was actually the muddy puddle jumping champion in all of Canada. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. But you know, a few years passed, and sometimes we forget about all those great things we used to do when we were little children. And I was playing tennis with my friend Robbie. And on the tennis court, I saw this muddy puddle. Now, it had been quite a few years of my muddy puddle jumping days, but I decided to give it a go. And as I was playing tennis, I ran to jump over that puddle, but I couldn't clear it, and I landed inside the puddle. Very odd, as my legs had been feeling heavier that time. So I went back to take another run. And as I drive and as I'm running towards that muddy puddle, I'm going to clear it, but no, I land inside the muddy puddle. I didn't know what was going on and why my legs were feeling that way. So I went to the doctors and I found out that my muscles were very unique. My muscles were very special, so to speak. That my muscles actually were weakening at a very fast rate. My muscles weren't getting stronger. My muscles were in fact getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Now what I found out though was that one day I would need leg braces to help me walk. And after the leg braces, I might need walking sticks to help me walk. And then when the leg braces and the walking sticks aren't enough, I would require this wheelchair that I'm in today. Now when I first found out about those leg braces, I was nervous about what leg braces would do, and I didn't want anybody to know. By the way, do you all know what leg braces look like? No. You want to see my leg braces that I used to wear? Okay. My daughter Aisha is here, so I want you to welcome her and say, "Hi, Aisha." This is my daughter Aisha. Isn't she? Thank you. So you see these? Oh, hi, Aisha. Thank you so much, my dear. Those are my leg braces. But you see, thank you very much, Aisha. But you see, those leg braces I hid underneath my pants because I didn't want anybody to actually see them. And I remembered my grandfather My granddad, my nana, was actually also in a wheelchair. And I remembered one thing that my nana used to say to me all the time. He said to me, Beta, we all have unique challenges. All of us are going to have our challenges. But it's the challenge that is going to make us stronger. That's what my nana told us. I'll say it again. We all have our own challenges, but it's the challenges that are going to make us stronger. Now you see, after I started wearing leg braces, I wasn't feeling very strong, and after work, I was volunteering at a after-school program at the YMCA. It was for underprivileged youth who would come there to engage in certain activities after their school was over. They were moving around tables and things like that, and I wasn't comfortable doing that given my leg braces, my legs feeling a little bit more weak. So rather, what I decided to do is go to the reading station, because that's something that I was good at. I could read, and I got to sit down behind the table also, and give myself a little bit of a break. All the students came in after their school, and they all came in and sat behind the table. And I remember there was this one kid in particular that really I'll never forget. He was a young boy about the age of, I'd say, 6 or 7 years old. And he was sitting on the other side of the table in the lap of his caregiver. Penny, of course, had some of his own challenges as well, and I knew that because his caregiver, in the lap that he was sitting, she would be wiping away some of his saliva from the side of his mouth. And every once in a while, she'd give him a hug from behind to make sure that he felt comforted. And I got to choose the book. And you know the book that I chose was called Math Curse. I'm an accountant at Cineplex. So I like numbers, and I like numbers then. So I picked out this book called Math Curse, but one thing I really liked about it is at the end of every page, I got to say the words like this, Math Curse! And all the kids would laugh. And every single time I got to that page, I'd say, Math Curse! But this boy named Marcus was laughing so loud. He was laughing and smiling so big. It brought me such joy, this boy Marcus. And his caregiver said, I've never seen him laugh like this ever before. And then the friends who were there also listening to the book said, we've never seen Marcus that happy ever before. That made me happy. So after the Math Curse book was over, then we went out into the main hall, and I could see Marcus looking at me wherever I was, and I was just trying to find a seat that I could sit down because my legs were aching a little bit. But he was just looking at me and he was laughing. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk over to Marcus and I'm going to say hello. And Marcus was being held by his caregiver, again 6, 7 years old, being held by his caregiver as I approached. And what did I see as I got closer? But Marcus had leg braces that were exactly like the ones that I was hiding underneath my camera. Exactly the same. And I looked at him and I said, buddy, check this out. And so proudly, I lifted up my pant leg and I showed him the very same leg brace, and I showed the world for the very first time that leg brace that I had on. And I'll tell you something. The smile that came on Marcus's face, the glow in the light that I saw on his face is something that I can never, ever forget. And in that moment, I had never felt stronger. You see, as my friend, it made sense what my grandfather said, what my nana said all those years before, that we all have our challenges. We all have our challenges, but it's the challenge that also becomes our strength. Marcus helped me that day. She helped me a lot. And then I think back about all the help that I've received from so many people over so many years. You know, I think about, there's quite a few stories actually, I'll mention one in particular. I remember this one time that I was in one building, in my wheelchair, trying to get across the street into another building because I was really, really late for an appointment. I was by myself. It was raining, it was thundering, there was wind like crazy, there was dirt flying all over the place on the road, but I had to get there, and there was nobody with me. So I looked out that door, I pushed that little button that opened the door for me, and I started going as fast as I could across the street. And I couldn't see anything as I was getting there. All I kept on looking at was that door that was behind that fog of rain to make sure that I could get to that other side of the building. And as I was driving as fast as I could, and I was getting closer to the door, I realized there was no push button. There was no button that I could actually push to open that door. What was I going to do as I was soaking wet in the rain? All I wanted to do was to get inside. And I feel this person running behind me. And I see this person completely drenched, completely wet, run in front of my wheelchair to quickly open the door and let me in. And when I got in, I looked at her and I said, thank you so much. I really thought I was going to be stuck out there. And she said, I saw you from the second floor crossing that street. And I knew there wasn't a push button over there, so I ran down to try to catch up to you so I could help you. And she gave me a smile. That was 10 years ago. I want you to think about that. That was 10 years ago that somebody went out of their way to help me. I bet you she doesn't even remember it. It was a normal day for her. But 10 years later, I remember it. I remember what she did for me, and you know what I remember especially? I remember the smile. Because sometimes all it takes is a smile to change everything. You know, I remember 20 years ago, maybe longer, 25 years ago when I was playing baseball. And our coach had us run laps around the track. You know how in gym class you gotta run those laps around the class? So I was doing that, but towards the end I started getting really tired again at that time. I didn't know it was because I had a medical condition. But I started feeling really tired, but I knew that some of my friends could tell that I was feeling quite sad about it. While some of the kids kept on running ahead, being like, come on Rayhan, what happened to you? Why are you running so slow? Making fun of me. I had those friends who slowed down. And those friends who slowed down and ran next to me, and I knew they were running slow for me. They said, don't worry, Rayhan, we're with you. We'll finish this together. My friends, that was 20 or 25 years ago, and I still remember it. I remember that help. Never underestimate what these little acts of help can do. I want to talk about something that happened just last month. Last month I went to my friend's house and they'd actually built a ramp for me to go inside their house in my wheelchair. But that ramp broke. So you know what my friends did? My friends, 4 of them, came down, they lifted me up out of my wheelchair. They carried me into the house, put me on the sofa, went outside, and then brought my wheelchair inside the house, just so I could be there with them. Think about that. To them it was nothing. To them it was like, well, Rayhan, you're our friend, we're going to do this for you. But again, it's something that I will never forget. And that's what I want all of you to remember, especially on a night like tonight. Especially when we are talking about our character, and we're talking about who we are, and we're talking about our community, and we're talking about what it means to be excellent. What it means to be excellent is to help each other. That's what it means to be excellent. It means to understand that every single one of us has a challenge. Sure, you can see my challenge, right? You can see my challenge. But everybody in this room, young or old, has a challenge that is unique to them. And as they struggle through their challenge, there are people all around, sitting right next to them, maybe in the room next to them, in their families, at their work, at their school, in their communities, who are ready to help. And that's what we can do. That's what we do. We step up and we help each other. But to help someone and to take help yourself, there's one thing that's required. Courage. It takes a lot of courage to ask for help. And you know what? It takes a lot of courage to even offer help. But never, ever be afraid to ask, how can I help? I'm here with you. We're in this together. How can I make things easy? Because just maybe somebody 10 years, 15 years, 25 years down the way will remember the help that you gave them. And sometimes that help can be the most simplest thing. All it takes is a smile. Never underestimate. But as we're speaking about courage, I think I'm going to do something that I've never done before on the stage. In fact, I've never even done this at work or in front of anybody that's not my own family and my friends that come into my house. But I feel like, Kareem, why don't you come on and help me? Tonight's the night that I'm going to show you something about how... Oh, by the way, this is my son, Kareem. Say hi, Kareem. He's a very good boy. He's a very good boy. He's a very good helper. And that's what I want all of you kids to remember. You saw my daughter Aisha, right? She's in grade 8. You see my son Kareem. He's in grade 11. You're never going to get too old to be able to help your parents, to help your friends, to help your uncles, your aunts, and to help anybody, your neighbors, anybody in your community, no matter who they are. Because that's what we do. That's what it means to be excellent. All right. You know, when I went from light braces to a walking stick, and I went from a walking stick to a wheelchair, I thought once I was in the wheelchair that I was never going to be able to stand up again. But you see what help can do? You see what the world can do when everybody's working hard to solve the challenges and the issues and do this together? And here I am, standing in front of you today, reminding you of stay positive. If you have courage and you have determination, and most importantly, you are looking for opportunities to be excellent and to help others, you'll stand here one day being proud of who you are. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Wow, such powerful journeys from all the amazing individuals to make amazing things in our community. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, Zane, bear with me. Please welcome Jannah and friends. Her beautiful Nishi. Jannah and friends are a kid edutainment platform that provides
hands together for Jannah and friends.
Thank you very much. I'm Jannah, for Jannah's family and friends. This is Jannah. This is Abdul Salam, my daughter and son. We hope you enjoy this song. It's called Alhamdulillah. All thanks and praise to God. That's what it means. Here it comes. Hope you clap along with us, okay? Let's go. You ready? Let's clap.
Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, and some parts of Saudi Arabia. It
that people were stomping their feet to work the clay that they would be using to build their homes.
That's true. Today, we practice deck fit with our head high and shoulders straight to honor our ancestors and the beautiful stories they had to tell.
We leave you with Zaytuna Academy for cultural events, who will be performing a few deck kits, starting with the Simpson Den Honor, which talks about the Sesame Work